wisdom. One mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. And that's all what personality development is all about. A very warm morning to everyone. I am Dhruvi Grewal from MBA Tech C second year.
I am Chris Juneja from MBA Tech Data Science second year, and we welcome you all today on this glorious Saturday morning for an amazing session on soft skills and personality development.
I feel delighted to introduce you to the guest speaker, Dr. Sonal Gupta ma'am, who has been joining us today for the Fireside chat. She has a very strong educational background in the different domains of commerce, designing, and public speaking, and is well versed to speak on the different topics very confidently.
In her professional experience as a TV anchor in ETV channel, a lecturer at ITN Group of Institution, a content developer and consultant at Metal, she has also been a personality development trainer at ITS Engineering College, Greater Noida, and now is personality development and soft skill coach at the Groom.fit in Geneva, Switzerland. So, ma'am, how are you feeling today?
Guys, thank you so much. I am talking to such an intelligent audiences, and the kind of introduction you are saying, it's overwhelming. So thank you so much, and I am super excited to talk upon the subject. It's my favorite topic, so I'm super excited.
So, ma'am, coming across your profile, we found that you have started your career in sales and management domain. So, what motivated you behind switching your domain to personality development and soft skills coach?
Yeah, thanks, Dhruvi, for asking this question. Actually, it was a journey. So when I completed my college from Mumbai, Mithibai College, and I was very much sure that I will work in media. And luckily, I got a break with ETV. So I started working as an anchor at the initial stages of my career. But while I was working as an anchor, I felt that there is something more which I needed. Like I was not happy in interacting in just one way. So I wanted more of interaction, something more to explore in media. Then my this journey continued. I thought let's switch the sectors. Maybe I'll get the feeling which I feel it's missing. Maybe I get it from some different sector. So then I worked in retail for some time. So it was a part of journey. It was good. Retail was good at that time. I worked with brands like Madura and Escomas. But again, I was not feeling content. There was something more which I was aiming for, and I couldn't understand that what it was. And then I got an opportunity to work as a faculty. So I started teaching at one of the management colleges in Bangalore. And that was a time that it clicked that this is something which I can do till the last day of my life. Like it was superb, it was so good standing in the class talking to students, those vibes. Like I was sure that this is the thing for which I am made. And then at that time I used to take management subjects, but my entire focus was on like how students were speaking. So it was more about their personality, not just in the way that how they speak to others, but also that how is their thought process towards themselves, like how much they know themselves and how are they connecting with themselves. So it's a long journey, and since then, like since the time I have discovered that I love teaching and I love to connect with my students, since that time I have been a teacher. I have been teaching in different colleges. And I was in India. I was located at Noida, and I was working as a personality development trainer at ITS Group. And then because of my family reasons, I relocated to Geneva, Switzerland. And currently it's 6:30, so I know it's kind of dark. It's 6:30 in the morning here, and sorry for that because it's right now it's completely pitch dark here. Okay, and I am working for an Indian startup only, that is GroomFit.
That was really a great journey. As you said, that it clicked. You were going to do this at the end day of your life. So, ma'am, can you elaborate what soft skills are?
Absolutely, absolutely. If you allow me, can I run my PPT, or you want me to talk like this?
We can have a questions just like this way only.
Absolutely, absolutely, no problem. So, like, if I ask a simple question, like success is something which has become an overexploited term. I won't ask success, but what makes you happy and fulfilled in life? Like, what skills they come to your mind when we think about, now I am happy, now I am fulfilled. So, what skills come to your mind?
Many skills come to mind different from different domains that makes me really happy.
Okay,
So yes, ma'am, that's all that I love to do. That this will going to change my mindset. So
right.
yes, ma'am.
Anybody else would like to answer this question? It's a very common question that,
As for me, likely whatever makes me happy, like doing something successfully or getting a good marks in a test, that makes me feel overexcited and happy at
okay,
times.
okay. Dhruvi, right? This time I think it hardly happens that I have got a different answer. So normally when we ask this question in the class, what do you think like will make you successful? So the normal answers which come are like, communication, stress management, finding your passion, teamwork, right? Collaboration, and all those skills and attitude, of course. But not many students tell that getting good marks, so you are the first one in so many years. Like, I really find students, like very few students who say that. Obviously it's also one of these skill, and especially if you love your subject, it is. So when we talk about success, we talk about fulfillment, all these things they come to our mind. Okay, very few students, like Dhruvi is included, they talk about marks and the subjects and everything. Okay, so when we are talking about success, we are talking about life. We are talking about two things. Okay, two set of skills. So one is domain skills and other is soft skills. Okay, now going one step ahead, what do you think is the contribution in terms of percentage of soft skills and hard skills to a person's success? Like, what do you think? Like in terms of percentage for making a person successful, what percentage of soft skills is required and what percentage of hard skills they play a important role? Guys,
Uh,
can we make this interactive? Like if
yeah,
somebody else wants to answer, is it okay?
Yeah, ma'am, sure. If the audience wants to answer, they can mute themselves and they will speak the answers.
Okay, so
So
guys, I'm talking to one of the most intelligent audiences in the country. Okay, and I'm sure that you must be aware about this question that what is the contribution? What do you think that soft skills contribute more or hard skills contribute more? What do you think?
I think that audience will be going to answer in the chat box. So I will
Yeah,
look for the
I'm looking into the chat box only. And okay, okay, soft skills more than 70%. Anybody else would like to make a guess? Okay. Okay, so there's an interesting answer. As per the researches done by Stanford and Harvard and Carnegie institutes, a person's success in life is dependent around 85% on their soft skills. Okay, like people are answering it, very close, 60, 70. But it is estimated that 85% of a person's success in life is dependent upon their soft skills, and only 15% is dependent upon their domain skills. Okay. But if we see that what we do throughout our lives, like even I have done the same in our schools and in our colleges, I think 15% of the time we spend in developing our soft skills, and rest 85% of the times we are behind our hard skills. So we are always behind getting good marks. We don't pay attention to how are we talking to ourselves, how are we talking to others, what is our passion. That is something which is never taught to us, right? I'm sure you guys are in MBA college, you must have discovered it by now. But yes, this is something which is a sad part of the system, that in schools, in colleges, we are only focused upon getting good marks. And I have seen this happening because there were students in my college. And what used to happen that They were really good, and they thought there was no need to attend personality development. We have a good personality. English speaking to हम सीख ही जाएंगे. So personality development is just not about, speaking English fluently. It's not about that. And at the fourth year, they were like, ma'am, I don't know how to face an interview. I can't speak anything about myself because I don't know, what to tell about myself. I don't know my strength. I do nothing. So that is something which actually needs to be reconsidered, that throughout our academic journey, student should focus on their soft skills as well. Okay. And then there is one more interesting research, which is again done by, Harvard and that all Carnegie universities, that out of the total people, who lose their jobs, okay, 80% of them, they lose their jobs because of lack of soft skills. Only 20% lose their jobs because of lack of domain skills. So the HR all over the world, they believe that it is easier to train somebody on their domain skills. Skill nahi aati hai, sikha do. But if somebody doesn't have a right attitude, uska kya karoge aap? If someone cannot communicate properly, it becomes impossible at that time to teach that person how to communicate effectively. Okay, so this is again one of the most interesting data which comes out when you talk about these hard skills and soft skills, right? Okay, so like soft skills are obviously, as we have talked about, that they are confidence, your attitude, your self-awareness and everything. So one simple question to audiences, guys, what do you think? Like, you see some people and they are shining. Like, obviously, one can not shine at all the time, but there are people, who are positive, who are confident. On the other side, I am very sure you would have met people who are always, gloomy, in doubts, they are like always uncertain. They cannot take a right decision. So, like, what do you think? From where these things are coming in a person's life? कहाँ से आता है ये सब? Intelligent audiences, kindly answer. What do you think? From where these things are coming? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So that's mindset. Okay, so it's mind. Mind is the generator of all these ideas. But can you remember the last time when we were coached that how does our mind works? You know, it's like we have been given one of the most sophisticated machinery in the universe. Yeah, like people are answering lifestyle confidence, absolutely, but we don't know that how to use our mind. Like, it's one of the most sophisticated, like more powerful than a supercomputer. So many things can be said about, human mind, like so many mysteries behind it. Okay, but हमें पता ही नहीं है how should we use it, करना क्या है इसके साथ में. Sometimes, we want to feel good, but पता नहीं है what should we do so that we can feel more good. Okay, so yeah, now I'll just request the audiences to, do one experiment. So guys, kindly close your eyes, and I'm not going to hypnotize anyone or do something wrong. Please, everyone, close your eyes for a minute, okay? And including Dhruvi and Krish, right? Okay, guys, now you can visualize anything on the earth, but please don't visualize a monkey, okay, with a red tie and drinking coffee. Anything on the earth you can visualize, but do not visualize a monkey with a cup of coffee and with a red tie. And you can also see, a formal blazer. Now, everyone, please open your eyes. So what have you seen?
Ma'am, I was just focusing on the monkey only, so
Yeah.
that's what the main domain.
Absolutely. So this is something, yeah. So what comes to the mind is monkey with a red tie and with a cup of coffee. Okay. So it's sin to talk about coffee at 10:15 in India, and obviously at 6:45 at Geneva time when you don't have in reality. Okay. So the thing is, yeah, I can't resist to imagine a monkey. Right. Absolutely. Guys, so this is the way in which our mind works. Okay. So our mind, so there are certain rules which we are never taught, but our mind, it works in the form of pictures. And then there is one more rule, that whatever you resist will persist. So जो आपको नहीं चाहिए होगा ना, definitely it will come into your life. Okay. So for many people, it is like I don't want to see my boss. I don't want to get nervous in this interview. I don't want to get anxious. And what life brings to them, they will get nervous, they will get anxious. So it's like our mind, it thinks in terms of feelings. Like imagine a lemon. Okay, somebody, you imagine a lemon, you are squeezing the lemon into your mouth. And we can feel that citrus thing. Okay, we can feel that tingle inside our mouth. So our mind is a machinery which actually, we need to learn that how does this work. Okay, and why are we talking about this? Because soft skills, your life skills, your people skills, abstract skills, they are completely related to your mind. Okay, so the like the way you will manage your mind, your life will come up. The mind is also known as the biggest magnet. Okay, so we attract situations, we attract people, and there are spiritual. I'm just going on little bit on this, spiritual side, because it is connected. So when we talk about spiritual technologists, they believe that as within as without. Okay, so we'll just go through this in the later stages. Okay, so now when we know that what is the importance of soft skills, 85% of our life and career is dependent upon our soft skills. Of course hard skills are important as well, they get you into the job, and then soft skills help you to grow into the ladder, get along with people and grow your career. Okay, so now let's talk about uh, that what and these soft skills, by the way, they keep changing. So if you go to World Economic Forum report, you see the top 10 skills in 2015, you see the top 10 skills. Okay, someone is saying, okay, suppose if we are good in soft skills and also good in personality development, but when there is a time to show the skills, we lose our hope. Okay, okay, so we'll discuss this, we'll definitely come to this. Okay, thank you so much for being responsive, then it makes the whole conversation a fun. Tab maza aata hai baat karne mein. So thank you everyone, please keep on posting your questions. Yeah, so I was speaking about World Economic Forum. Okay, so their skills in 2015, their skills in 2022, and now the new set of skills in 2030. Okay, so the skills are changing. And if I am allowed to share my screen, just give me a minute. So this will just serve as a reference point. Okay, guys, can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I have really planned you guys to show the monkey. Okay. Okay. So now we are in the midst of Industrial Revolution 4.0. Okay, I'm sure you guys must be aware that we are in that time where the difference between the physical and the digital, it's getting blurred. Like information is available on your fingertips, and companies are operating in a different model. So Industrial Revolution 4.0 is something which has completely changed the things used to work, right? They have information on the real time, they can make changes. We have so many technologies, we have cloud computing, we have data, we have 3D printing, we have AR, VR, immersive reality. So many things are coming up, right? And as a result of this, millions of people, like you see the reports, millions of people are going to lose their jobs. Okay, I'm sure you guys must be aware of this, that it's going to affect employment in a major way, right? So when we are in such a turbulent times, in the midst of such a big revolution, what are the skills which will be required to function in the next coming in the coming years? So like as I was talking about this World Economic Forum report, you can see that in 2015 the creativity was at the last number. Now in 2020, see creativity at the fourth number, and now in 2030, which they are predicting, just see the fluency of ideas. Okay, originality. So the creativity, this is something which is always going to remain, on the top of the list. Like if you study this thing, if you study these skills, the pattern, the skills which machines cannot produce till now, like in this revolution, industrial revolution 4.0, machines are becoming super intelligent, okay, but still there are some things which they cannot do till now, and I'm using the word till now. You never know how they are going to turn up in next coming years, right? So ऐसी चीजें जो सिर्फ humans के पास हैं, creativity, connecting with others, ये चीजें they are always going to be in demand. And when we talk about the jobs which require human skills, okay, like if you see the nature of the jobs which are going to be automated, they are the tasks in which, they are kind of repeated things in which you do not have to use your creativity, your human skills. Those are the jobs which are getting automated. Okay, but the jobs in which you need high level of human skills, you need interaction, you need thinking about ideas, that is something which will always be there, no matter how smart or intelligent the machines are going to become. Okay. So moving to our top 10 skills. So first one is my favorite. Okay, so it is about self-awareness. In India, like apne country mein we say that Atma Gyan is Mahagyan. Okay, so self-mastery is the most important thing. And uh, as a student, we do not realize, like, but as you move forward in your life, in your professional journey, you realize that this is such an important thing. Unless and until you connect with yourself, unless and until you know yourself, how can you go and connect with the world? Okay, so abhi hum dekhenge se what is atmagyan. Okay, so not getting literally into it, but yes, to know yourself, one of the easiest tool is to know your personality. So many times students feel that, if I look good, अच्छा से English बोल लूंगा and my personality will shine. It doesn't happen in this way. So personality is the total sum that how do you feel, behave, and react. Okay. So you are somebody like it's raining outside and you will be like, wow. Somebody will be like, oh God, such a horrible day. In case if it is flooding on something, then it is completely different. But this is like your personality. Like how do you behave in a particular situation? Okay. So personality is about your nature, habits, and everything. Of course, your appearance do matter. That's the first impression, and speaking, listening, everything. Okay. So now we are talking about the personality test. So there are different kind of personality tests which you can just go and give it online for free, and you will get to know the amazing results. Okay. So there is one site called humanmetrics.com, and their test is dependent upon Carl Jung's theory. Okay, and then there is one another test that is 16personalities.com. Like superb test. You know what happens? Yeah, Shubham wants to ask something. Guys, you can just put your questions on the chat. I'm super happy that you people are talking. That's the best part to happen in a presentation. Okay, so just keep on putting your questions in the chat, and I'll definitely answer. Okay. So when we talk about personality tests, there are 4 things. Okay. So first is that how do we get our energy? And it's a lot of heated thing in students that if I am an introvert, is it going to be a problem? Because I have seen this happening with my students. Okay, so introvert and introversion and extroversion is actually nothing. The way you charge your mobile, this is the way we recharge ourselves. Okay, so there are people who are extroverts who will always love to go to a party. They will have a lot of friends, so they have this external kind of energy. They talk to people and then they get energized. Okay, then there are different set of people who are introverts and they are not less in any aspects. Okay, how do they recharge themselves? They are more into their heads. Okay, they love to spend time with themselves. So maybe instead of going to a party, they would prefer to curl up in one corner and read a book and have a cup of coffee. Okay, I too have more of characteristics of an introvert. And the thing is that nobody can be a permanent extrovert or an introvert. It is something which makes you happy. You are working in a corporate, there are situations when you will need to speak, but what you will prefer is seclusion, spending time with yourself. So there are a lot of misconceptions about this extroverted and introverted thing. But guys, this is just the way our personality is built up, that how do we get energized. Okay. Then, there is a term called sensing and intuiting. Guys, can you see this picture? What are the top 3 things which come to your mind after seeing this picture?
I'm a chessboard, the two
Okay.
hands and the yes.
Okay. Anybody else?
People are playing in it.
People, sorry, Dhruvi, people are?
Playing in it.
Anybody else? Anything else? It's 9:30. It's what time? It's going to be 10 in India. Just think more. What else comes to your mind?
There's a dark and a bright side.
Yes, right. So guys, sensing and intuiting. So intuition को क्या छठी इंद्री भी बोलते हैं, right? So sensing is this is the way you take information. Okay, if after looking at this picture, the first thought came to your mind is chessboard, as it happened with Krish. So Krish is more on the sensing side. So you see information as it is, the way it is. Okay, if someone is saying dark, light, bad, good, then those are the people who are not seeing the information as it is, but they are seeing the future possibilities. Okay, so it is the way we collect data from the atmosphere, and we even don't realize it, that what is the way in which we seek information. Okay, then moving ahead. Okay, then thinking, feeling. This is like one of the most common thing, that you take decision by heart or head. So if we take example of TCS, okay, so TCS during COVID times, they have clearly said that they are not going to fire a single employee. So this is something which is by heart. Think about the companies like Accenture, and there are so many companies, they have fired people like anything during the time of COVID. So thinking and feeling is something which doesn't, which is not just about that how do you see the things. It is about that how do you take decisions. It is about, you think by head or heart. Like when you are taking a decision, you value relationships more, or you value your, which is right or wrong. Okay, so this is just as simple as that. And at multiple times, sometimes we make decision by heart and sometimes we make decision by head, but we have a tendency to do it more on the one side. Okay.
I have a doubt in it
Yeah.
while taking the decision. Likely, ma'am, you have said, like if there are situations that we have to take up the instant decisions. So, what is the perfect way that one can take the decision very correctly and effectively while taking an instant decision?
So, Dhruvi, it depends upon the situation. For this question, there cannot be an immediate answer. But I think the better you know yourself, like if you know that you have this tendency to take more decision by heart, okay, then you might want to weigh that option. It might happen, right? So I think the better self-aware you are, better you will be able to take that decision. And the last thing, which is super interesting, guys, okay, so this is judging and perceiving. And trust me, for the last 5-6 years, whenever I teach this thing, whenever we discuss this concept in the class, here actually judging doesn't mean that we are making an opinion about somebody. Judging here is that how organized we are, how organized is our laptop, how organized is our room. If I have a holiday tomorrow, do I have some plan? Like, I will have some plan. On the other side, perceiving is a set of people who are more kind of open. There is a weekend coming, there is a holiday coming, I will plan on that day only. Okay, so I can explain you, like my daughter, okay, she gets homework and she is only able to do the homework just one day prior to submission. Like I keep telling her, just do it. She don't get that kind of energy. The moment she knows that she has a deadline tomorrow, she will do it super effectively. Okay, and I think most of the engineers, they come into this categories. Not sure about MBAs, that their 90% of the task is completed in last 10% of their time, right? And I am the one who is into this, judging kind of category. Like, it, you can just observe this thing into your family, right? So like I stay in Geneva, so there are many places to go around. So during before a weekend, I have to make a plan that where are we going to go. But if I talk about my husband, we'll go to the station, we'll see that which trains are available, and we can get on any one and go to any place. All the places are beautiful. So sometimes it's like, what, so it's a difference of the personality, that how people are planning, how people are taking decisions. And I'm sure you can relate these kind of things with other people as well. Okay, so these are 16 attributes. And someone was asking me on the chat that how can they get to know their personality. So I'll mention it on the chat only. There is a site called humanmetrics.com. Okay, and then there is 16 personalities. Okay, so you can just go and check your personalities on these sites. And when I used to conduct these sessions in the class, students were like, that someone is reading their mind. These tests are so effective, like as if someone is telling you about yourself. And it's really exciting, because not every time in our education you do something like this. Okay, like it's interesting space. Like I really like it. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
ma'am, as you said that you have a judging kind of personality, how a person is judged over his or her personality, and what kind of personality do you prefer at work?
Okay. Okay. See, it's like, आप जैसे हैं. It's nothing like कि which is good or which is better. Okay. So judging is, again, I have said, judging is not making an opinion. Judging is just about that how organized, how scheduled are you in your life. Okay. And it's nothing like that your success is dependent upon that. It's just your personality. Like, I had this presentation. I was, thinking about this for the last 2 3 days. Okay. But if somebody who is into perceiving category, they might get up 1 hour earlier, and they can make a PPT, and they can, recollect their ideas. So it is about, like, I have friends who are super efficient before the deadlines. Like, unless and until they don't get the deadlines, they are not excited to do the work. Okay. So, Krish, what do you think? You belong to which category, judging or perceiving?
I believe in perceiving. I think so. Not more
Perceiving.
kind of.
Okay, okay. And Dhruvi, what do you think?
Basically, I feel I am on more side on the judging side.
Okay, okay. For it is a thing which is sad for engineers, that engineers, they do 90% of their task in last 10% of their time. Okay, so it depends upon person to person, and there is nothing like that. I am better if I am into judging category, or I am better into this person. It is the way you are designed, your uniqueness. That is what now. Every human being is unique, and then you have this 16 combinations. Okay, you might not agree to all the points, but I'm sure that most of the points you will agree. Okay, so this is your uniqueness, and you will take your call and decisions, and plus your career according to your personality. Okay. Okay. Now, again, this is one of my most interesting thing to talk about. So when we speak about the word attitude, okay, so attitude से हमें क्या लगता है कि how do we behave towards others, okay, but actually attitude is just not about others. Attitude is about that how do we behave with ourselves, okay, what kind of things do we say to ourselves. There's a term which is used in spiritual sciences. It's known as inner child. Okay, like if there is a kid, okay, like smaller kid, 5 6 year, and he comes to you with a drawing, and you tell him that ye kya bakwas hai, what have you drawn this, he will never come up to you again. Okay, but if you tell him that no, this is good and you can do it better, he will possibly do it, he will definitely do it better. Okay, so our mind, what we do to our mind, like, and I think everyone can relate to it. So this is a word called self talk. Have you observed that how do you behave with yourself even over a small mistake? You are like, we tell ourselves we are fool, we can't do this. Okay, so that's such a sad part. And I would like to ask one thing again here. So again, we are going to mind management thing, because mind and soft skills are completely related. So guys, what do you think? How many thoughts we think? Like how many thoughts does a human mind think in a day?
I can think I can't count it. There are many of the thoughts going on in my mind.
Okay, guys, anybody else would like to make a guess in the chat box? कितना हम सोच सकते हैं, हमारा माइंड कितने थॉट्स हो सकता है? 10,000. ओके, थोड़ा सा और सोचो प्लीज गाइस, एवरीवन.
Ma'am, in a class only, sitting in a class only, we have 50s of thoughts coming in our mind just.
See, classroom is a place where you are actually not in the classroom and you have multiple thoughts. Okay, we all have experienced it, right? So a human mind on an average thinks 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts per day. 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts, and that's a lot. And you just switch your thought from one to another, you even don't realize. Okay, a big interesting one. What happens that whatever we think, 90% of the thoughts are the repeat of the yesterday. Okay, so whatever you have thought yesterday, the same thoughts you are thinking today. And then one more important thing, that more than 80% of the thoughts are negative, and that's the sad part, and it happens with everyone. So human mind has a tendency to think more of the negative thought. Whenever you are sitting idle, you might recall that person has done such a wrong thing with me. You might not recall that I'm so happy, I'm so blessed, everything is good, but you will recall that my parents have done this to me, my teachers have done this to me. So our mind has this tendency to go on the negative side. And the best part is, all this is happening on the autopilot. Like we don't even realize that how much are we cursing our mind. If we are not able to speak in one presentation, we will tell ourselves, मुझसे तो नहीं होगा, I'm useless, and these kind of things occur. So the self talk is one of the most important thing. What is happening actually, we are thinking the same thoughts. Okay, we are doing the same kind of behavior, because same thoughts, same behavior. Then we think, when we take the same kind of actions, of course results to same aa gayi. But when your 90% thoughts are the repeat of every day, you are going to do the same thing again and again. And end में, when the result is same, then we say that yaar kismat kharab hai, like then we blame it to our destiny. But a simple thing, if we want to change something in our life, the first thing is start thinking a new thought. Okay, and I'm sure you all must have heard that when we were kids and we were supposed to write an exam, so teachers used to tell us that if you cannot remember, then write the answers. So लिखने से क्या होता है, you give a signal to your mind that भाई, more than those 80 or 60,000 thoughts, these 5 thoughts are important. And today I am going to focus my energy on these 5 thoughts, not those 65,000 thoughts or 70,000 thoughts. That is why it is sad that it's so important to write. Like I try to start my day, I have my to-do list, I am not able to complete everything, but that where I have to focus my energy, that is something which is very clear. And it gives you a little bit of stress also ki karna hai, but it gives you a lot of clarity also, right? Again,
Ma'am, a
yeah,
thought
please.
came into my mind that the way you are speaking is damn fabulous. So, can you give us some tips on improving our body language and confidence by speaking in public?
Guys, we will come to that. I know, this is something which is a favorite part of mine. Sometimes I tend to overdo it, but kya, unless and until you will feel good, आप कैसे अच्छे से बोल सकते हो? You need to feel good about yourself. You need to tell yourself that I am going to become a best speaker I know. Okay, so we'll just do a little bit on this part and then we'll move to that part. Okay, there's one interesting experiment. So there was one Dr. Emoto. I don't know how many of you have heard about him. So what he did, he collected sample of water from different mediums, like from tap and from lake and from dirty water. And what he did, he pasted stickers over that. He froze that water, in like very low temperatures, that water got frozen. And then he said some good words to some samples and then some bad words to the other sample. So what happened? the samples on which she has said negative things, you fool, you can't do anything. Just look, I know the picture is not that clear, but just look at the structures that, what has happened to those structures. Now, on those samples in which good words were said, and there was like they were given the good vibrations, so the water turned out to be in the shape of beautiful crystals. Now, why am I telling you this thing in attitude is that 70% of our body is made up of water. So when we say ourselves that you are such an idiot, nahi hoga. So we need to think that what are we doing with our bodies and minds? Okay. So it is impacting our whole personality. So from now onwards, I know, and it is one of the most difficult thing to monitor your self-talk. Just try, thak jaoge. It is so difficult, but it comes with practice. Especially, just try to figure out the areas where you are saying negative messages to yourself. You need to work upon them. Okay. And yeah, so they are, different spiritual scientists, and one of them is Sadhguru. So I don't know how many of you are aware about inner engineering, but he talks about inner engineering, and that is something. So he tells a very beautiful statement. Okay, just let me just show you. Yeah. So you can only function at your full efficiency when you are happy. आप दुखी हो, आपसे कोई काम नहीं होगा, right? But when you are happy, you are in pleasant state of mind, then you are able to turn the world upside down. Okay. So first of all, before doing anything, if whether it is public speaking or going into your exam or whatever, just try to find that how can you function into your most pleasant state. Okay. Guys, I hope this all is making sense to you.
Ma'am, on this I have again a doubt. Like, see, ma'am, you said that being happy is important, but there are situations when we can't be happy. So how can one be get themselves motivated or feel happy while preparing while giving an examination or for an interview, preparing for an interview?
Dhruvi, it is such a right question because one can never be happy at all the time. Okay, that is, it's not practically possible. But the point which here I'm talking about is, how do you feel in most of your day? If you are somebody who are depressed at most of the part of the day, then life will be very difficult for you. You will only say the negative things in your life. So it is about the way you think. It's okay. There something bad happened with you, and you are onto that situation. You just think about it and then leave it and then proceed. There are people who get stuck, and it happens with many of us, right? And you said that we are going for an exam, and how can we feel happy? So depends. If you are prepared, I think you will be happy. Okay. And there are a number of things. The preparation is in your hand, but the results are not in your hand. So if you are done with your preparation, okay, I think that's the point to be happy. And you cannot prepare 100%. It's not possible. So if you feel that you have prepared well, be happy. Okay. If you get anxious to the exam, I'll just tell you one thing. So I'm a commerce graduate. So during some paper, and yeah, taxation. See, I can't even remember. So taxation. Like all the students were sure that there was a professor. His name was Professor Dixie, and not in real. Like he has given a definition of taxation. Okay, I'm not able to recall. It's like a long back thing. So everybody knew the first question is going to be define this taxation thing, something. Okay, and I was like, this question will definitely come. This question will definitely come. And I have told so many people. I went to the examination hall, and that was the first question. But can you believe I just remembered, according to Professor Dixie, I couldn't remember any other thing. Like I was telling to everyone, this is an important question, it is going to come. But I was so anxious, I couldn't recall a single word. I just wrote according to Professor Dixie, and I just held my head, and I recalled the whole definition after my exam. So, this is also one of the thing which happens with your mind. When you are anxious, it is very difficult to remember to get at ease. And this too happens in public speaking also. We'll come to it. Okay. Okay. So techniques to be happy. And I think I should move ahead with this. Okay. This is one of the most important dialogue. Guys, can you remember kya tha ye dialogue? I'm sure this movie, everyone would have seen this movie. Can you remember the dialogue? Guys, can you share in the chat box? Guys, I mean, you people don't watch movies. I watch a lot of movies. Okay, so I remember that, she says that my apni favorite. So the thing is that no matter what the world thinks about yourself, you have to think good about yourself. Okay, because if you cannot think good about yourself, if you cannot feel happy, no one is going to come from outside and going to make you happy. So this is about, be happy and other things will follow. Okay, then going to our next skill. Okay, so yeah, this is one of the most important thing, most crucial. Okay, its importance cannot be actually overemphasized. Okay, this is so important. So you are looking two pictures on the screen. Okay, and the picture which is at the right side, everybody knows about this guy. Okay, and the picture which you see of this guy who is on the left side, how many of you know him?
I think so. He's Nicole Tesla.
Yes, yes, absolutely. But you know what? This guy is the most, intelligent, one of the most intelligent person who lived on the earth. Okay. And he has discovered so many things. He has made so many things, like which are the inventions, like basis of inventions for so many things even today. But this guy, he died broken alone. Okay. Why? Because his communication skills were not as stronger as you see the person on the right side. Okay. Who is the person on the right side? Everybody knows him. Yeah, right. So his tweets are millions of words and everything. So the communication is so important. You have to, through communication, you can build trust in your investors, in your community. Through communication only you can tell about your vision, that what are you thinking. This Nicholas Tesla was such an intelligent person, but he cannot at that time he couldn't convince people, he couldn't convince his investors. He died broke and he died alone, and he was he was a super intelligent person. If you just read about him, he has done so many things. So many of his inventions, they were unpatented and they were still used by people on their own means. Okay. And this Tesla motors, this Tesla is based upon his name, right? So this is a classic example that how, like, even if you have hard skills and you lack soft skills, it will be very difficult for you to move ahead in your career and let the people know about yourself. Okay. So communication is, I won't go much into this. So communication is, people sometimes think, especially in colleges, if I can speak fluent English, it's not about speaking fluent English. It is not about one-way communication. It is about bhai audiences ko samajh mein aa bhi raha hai nahi. How are you able to connect with your audiences? So it's a two-way thing. Okay. So always, like, whether you speak Hindi, whether you speak English, or whether you speak any of the language, the most important thing in communication is ki whether your audience is able to connect with you, are they able to understand you, ki what are you trying to say. Okay. As I was saying that, importance of this communication skill, you cannot overemphasize it. It is so important. Like, as in the different surveys done, it is rated as one of the most important skills. Okay. And different kind of communications, we have just covered that how we communicate with others and how we communicate with ourselves. That is interpersonal and intrapersonal communication, and others are formal, informal, and you are so intelligent audiences. We don't go this much into this. And again, while coming to this, because I think industry 4.0 is such an important topic, and I'm very sure that you, my guys, would have already know about it. Communication, it becomes more critical when we talk about industry 4.0. Why? Because I'm sure that you would have talked to Alexa, you would have talked to Siri. After a certain point, they sound dumb, isn't it? Like, can you talk to them like a friend? Is it possible? Like, these technologies are actually dumb. Okay. So this ability to connect with people, ability to inspire others, ability to motivate, this is something which is unique to humans. Okay, and this is something which you need to develop. Your communication can be in any form. It can be in the form of public speaking, it can be in the form of some art, but that is something which is completely unique to you, which is very, very important in the age of super intelligent machine. You need to find your own human element. What is that human element, right? Guys, please keep on putting your queries in the chat box. I'll try to answer everything. Okay.
Yeah, I want to make an announcement for the audience. Whoever is interested to post their questions, it's the last lag of a time, so can post their questions in the chat box.
Okay, how much time is remaining? Sorry, I've lost a track of time.
Approximately 10 minutes.
Okay, so I'll just run through everything. Okay, then we have body language. Okay, and body language is like, if you talk about human communication, if you just listen to the spoken words, you mean, like, 93% of the communication you are losing. So body language is such an important tool, and it's about first impression, it's about your facial expressions, it is about you sit, and it is about everything. Okay, uh, it is about your hands, it is about your gestures. And one of the most important thing, if you have time, you can just go and watch this TED talk. This is Amy Cuddy's TED talk, that how can you use body language as a tool of confidence. What happens during public speaking, like, or any other stressful situation, what we do is, we collapse, we get nervous, and we start collapsing. And the more you collapse, more you make your bodies smaller, more nervous you will feel. So if you want to use body language as a tool of confidence, so the situations where you know that you are going to be stressed out, keep your body language open. Open your body language will be more confident you will be. You can just go and check out, on this in a detailed manner. So it's a whole science in itself, and you can use it as a tool to increase your confidence. Okay, now coming to listening, what we do when we talk about communication, we feel that we are good speakers. It is just not about speaking, it is about listening also. And the stats say that we end up in, we listen so much, but out of 4 words we only listen 3 words. Because we listen with the intention to reply. Whenever someone is saying, our mind is, what I am going to reply this. So it's not the way of correct listening. And there is a guy called Julian Treasure. You can go. He's a very interesting guy. He is from UK, but he has dedicated his whole life on the search of sound. He has published one book where he has searched upon the word called Om. Okay, from Indian mythology, he has done that. So he gives a technique, rasa. It's a Sanskrit word. So whenever you are listening to somebody, if you are really interested, show them that how are you receiving them. So it is RASA, rasa. Receive, respond, appreciate that you are understanding something, summarize, and ask, let the person feel you are, because listening is one of the best gifts which you can give to somebody, being attentive, being there for them. Okay, so you can just check about this guy. And obviously we all know these things, that effective listening can work wonders. Okay, then this is one of the most important things. This is digital fitness and mindset. I am also pursuing my PhD over the human capital in the area of Industry 4.0. And I, like, whomsoever I speak, they always tell that in this era, it is just not about that how do you speak to the audiences, but it is a lot about that how you are perceived. Okay, so it's like these days, it's everything is virtual, you are not going anywhere. Okay, but people are still making an impression out of you. So that is your digital body language, that how is your presence across different social media platforms, and especially the professional one like LinkedIn. How do you come across? And it starts with your photo. I see, people posing for LinkedIn. So that's something which is not related to the professional thing. Okay, so for a platform like LinkedIn, you need to have a good picture which is formal, and plus, some people, they never smile in their pictures. So it starts right away from your picture. then it goes to your introduction, and then it is about that the kind of content which you are posting. It is also about the kind of, the comments which you are doing on the other people's thing. So people are making an opinion out of you. So that's, digital mindset, digital fitness. The simple thing is, how many functions of your mobile do you know, or how many functions of your laptop do you know? You need to be, because this is a digital era, you need to increase your digital fitness. You should be aware about what is happening and how is it going to go forward. Okay.
Ma'am,
Then creativity. Yeah.
ma'am, till now you had a fabulous journey, and many of us get demotivated among our journey. So, what advice would you provide to someone who is unmotivated or unable to concentrate on his work?
Okay. See, there are periods in everybody's life when you will feel disappointed. Okay, it will always happen. Nobody can always be happy and motivated. But I think, if you have a goal, if first of all, I feel that when you know your passion, your life becomes easier. Like the moment it clicked me that teaching is something I can do till the last day of my life. Like, I love to be like that. I love to interact with students. I love their energy. Then I got something to work upon my life, that this is my goal towards which I am going to work. Then I have planned my, studies and everything according to that. So to stay motivated, first of all, just know your passion. And if currently you are not able to pursue your passion, just take out 1 hour in a day, whether it is writing, whether it is, reading or painting, just 1 hour in a day. So you will get so happy, you will get so much of energy in that 1 hour that you will be able to keep on going for the rest of the day. Just try this, and this always works. Okay, I hope I have answered your question, Krish. Okay, and talking about creativity. So I think, when we talk about creativity, we think about Steve Jobs. But what about Rajamouli? I think he is the best creative person. The way he has made this movie, the things which he has done, nobody would have imagined. It was a simple story of two brothers, and everybody knew, but the whole country was on their knees. That why Katappa killed Bahubali, right? Everybody knew the answer, but still we were like, what happened? So this is creativity, like to come out with something new. And to so many people with whom I have spoken, so they say that it's the time for not just creativity. It's like, there is a word which they use, that you have to be super creative. It's like, I'm not able to recall that word right now, but creativity in a different sense, that how, early, how quick you can come up with the ideas. So that is very important. And for being creative, you need to be in that mindset. Now creativity is also something, if your boss is sitting, like, is, standing on your head and telling you that think out of the box, you will never be able to think anything new. So creativity too needs a stable mindset, a calm mindset. The more calmer you are, you will be able to come up with ideas. And the most creative people are the kids, kindergarten kids, because they are free to do whatever they like. They explore so many things. So creativity is something which is the most desirable skill. Now you need to know that how can you become more creative? How can you get yourself into that zone that you get to think many, many ideas? Okay. Okay. So again, critical thinking and problem solving. There is a movie, I don't remember the name, in which this guy, Paresh Rawal, he goes and he asks, there is a guest in his house, and he asks, what you will take. You will take something hot or cold. Like, okay, hot. In hot, what will you take? Tea or coffee? Okay, okay, I'll take tea. You will take tea with milk, without milk. Okay, then you will take with sugar, or without sugar, and on and on. So critical thinking is about asking questions, but not in the Paresh Rawal way. It is about asking the right questions. Okay, the more right questions you ask, and the more you answer it in the structured way, like you can get a simple thing, that there are two companies which have started to operate in the same time, but now one is success and one is failure. So you can come with the random answers, that there is issue with this, there's issue with that government policy. But you can take a pause and you can, structure your information. And I'm very sure that you guys would have been a master in this thing by now. Okay. So it's like structuring your thought process, taking a pause, and then how do you put information, like, how do you uh, make tabs for the information, how do you structure them? This is also one of the most important thing. And critical thinking and problem solving, it goes hand in hand, it goes together. Okay, this is again a super important thing. So there is a guy, Mark Brackett. He's professor and head at Yale University. So what he has done, he has made a mood meter. Okay. So what he says, because he's an expert in emotional intelligence, he says you cannot tame my emotion unless and until you name my emotion. So, there are 3,000 words in the dictionary which talk about emotion. And out of those 3,000, 2,000 are negative, only 1,000 is positive. And plus, sometimes we know that we are not feeling good, but not feeling good is not the right word. You need to understand that you might be depressed, or you might be angry, or you might be just furious, anything. It, like, there are so many things. So there is an app called Mood Meter. I don't know how does that work, but he has given this chart that this is Mood Meter. First of all, when you are not feeling at ease, can you see the red side here? So, the people who are mostly on the red side, they have this heart problems and higher BP, because they are always on this side, that go and make work. They are always on the running mode. Okay. Because there is a mind body connection. It's a deep mind body connection. Okay. So if you are in this red state and you want to come into yellow state, what will you do? Again, it is upon your personality. Maybe, I love to listen to music, so maybe I'll listen some music. I am able to calm down my nerves. But for somebody, it might be going out with friends. They go out with friends and they feel good. Somebody, it might be painting. So the first thing is that you know your emotion, and then only you can work over it, and you can come into this, this yellow state. Because most of the magic of the life, it happens when you are in, good mood.
Ma'am,
Yeah,
it was a really great stuff, but we hate to
I
do
know.
this. We have time constraint.
Okay,
So,
okay, no problem. And I have reached to my last thing. Okay. Have you heard about moonlighting? Have you heard about the recent news that TCS has fired around 300 employees because of moonlighting?
yes, ma'am.
Right. So that is about working in the virtual environment, that everyone in the virtual environment, there are so many things, lack of physical proximity. So the trust needs to be there from both these sides, from the employers and from the employees. Okay, so these were the soft skills which are required in the current era and will be required at least, in coming 3 to 5 years. Okay, so guys, thank you so much. If any of you has some questions, I think, can we consider them? Krish, do we have time?
Yes, ma'am. If there is a question in the chat, we can consider that.
So guys, please, if you want to, okay, if you want to ask anything, you were asking about, Krish, you were asking about public speaking, right? That how to control your fear. Okay. So, whenever you are going to a situation which it's going to be a nerve-wracking thing, first of all, work on your body language. It helps you a lot. And the second thing is that in public speaking, you don't need to be a hero. Your hero is your audiences. When you take all the burden on your shoulders, कि मुझे ही सब करना है, then there is a problem. Okay, so go in front of your audience and try to talk to them. The moment you start talking to them, and initial 40 seconds are the super important. Okay, once you start talking to them, it will be more like a conversation and you will be in your flow. Okay, guys, anybody else wants to ask anything? If I can answer.
So if there's no question, so ma'am, what's the last piece of advice you would like to leave our audience with?
Yeah, absolutely. So there have to be a takeaways in the talk. So first is the most important thing: before connecting with the world, connect with yourself. The better you know yourself, better you will be able to connect with others. Okay. And then work upon the human capabilities, which machines are not able to master yet. And that's communication is one of them. Okay. And find your passion, be human.
There is a question in the chat
Okay.
that it happens sometimes audience become disturbing, then how to keep self from hesitating and again taking the audience in flow.
Okay. So this happens. Of course, this happens. So you don't need to concentrate on all the audiences. In audience, there will be few people who will respond to you well. Just connect with them. Okay. Just focus upon them and talk to them. Okay. Then it will be a flow. In like it will always happen. There will be some disturbing elements. They will be, in some other world, some doing something else, but you only need to focus upon the people who are responding positively to you. Okay, you will get confidence to continue.
That was a fabulous session. I personally learned a lot from this session. That was amazing to hear from you about how one can groom their personality. It was really wonderful and informative session. We are indeed grateful to have an interaction with you, and we got a clear overview how one can be presentable in the by using the different skills in the professional world. On the behalf of entire Saturday 10 a.m. team and the student community, I would like to thank Dr. Sonal Gupta for sparing her precious time and interacting with our students.
Thank you so much, guys. It was pleasure to connect with you. Thank you so much.
And we would like to extend our gratitude to Dr. Akshay Malhotra, our faculty mentors, Dr. Smita Bonde and Herschel Kotwal sir for their constant support and guidance. Lastly, we would also like to thank all the wonderful participants for joining us today and making this a successful session.
Thank
Thank
you
you all.
so much, guys. Have a great weekend ahead. Thank you so much.